Hopefully, we are recording. And if we are not, I will not be checking again. You guys, really, you should thank my cousin for having an episode this week. Let me just start by saying that I am not shady and I did not intentionally not record an episode last week. Per usual, I was sick. Yeah, since I've started a chat with Shay and not the previous iteration, specifically a chat with Shay, I've been sick 18 times. Okay, maybe not 18, maybe I'm being dramatic, but I've been sick a lot. So last week when I was supposed to record, it had been a long week. And my body was just trying to recover so bad that I had to just let it go. And we already starting off on a weird foot because not only do I not have my phone in my hand that has the notes, I also don't even have the cue cards. We know the cue cards are empty, but you just hopping up here do whatever you want now. Just whatever you want. And also let me mention I was fully, although I had makeup on because I went to it today, I was fully going to do just a voice episode, just an audio episode. But then I realized my headphones were downstairs and I said, fine, fine. I guess I'll get on camera. And then I changed my outfit no less than like 4 times. I ran back the Lover Girl outfit because I said, y'all ain't see it anyway. But then I felt chubby. And here's the thing, because 40 days and 40 nights, y'all know that's how I roll. I'm the only one who cares about it. And I tell people all the time, I'm like, y'all don't get people who just like you. You just gotta get people who like you for real because whether you gain or you lose, they're still gonna like you. But it's not about the boys. Okay? It's about how I feel in clothes. And them pounds, we don't call the number. Them pounds on my body. So I changed 4 times. Only for me. Mind you, the issue for me is the midsection. When I sit down, I feel like a potato. You change 4 times to put a crop top on, and not just any crop top, girl. It is a mesh crop top, please. It's like I say I'm such a serious lady, and I'm not. I am not. Can I also just say this as well? I'm gonna say 2 things also. And I said this before in a previous episode, and I don't know which one it was in because I'm sure it wasn't in the notes for that episode either. Like it's not in the notes for this episode. Every time I sit on this couch and I don't have and I don't have socks or whatever on, I think about Peter Guns being on Tara's couch in them first seasons of Love and Hip Hop and his feet being dirty. My feet are not dirty, but it makes me think about that every time because I'm so unserious. I'm so unserious. And also because I clearly got a tinge of the can't focus. I don't even know what the second thing was. I do know what this. Sorry, I do know what the second thing was. The second thing was I've been walking around going, "Hey yo, what you just want from a like?" Y'all pray for my future husband. Pray for that man because he gonna have to have the patience of a saint or be a goof troop just like me. Like we just gonna have to pray for that man. Just pray because I'm a handful. I like it. Anyway, I feel pretty good about that. I feel like we can get into the intro or better yet, the housekeeping fairly early because my tangent wasn't that long. So let me just get this housekeeping out of the way and we can get into some things. Welcome to A Chat with Shay episode. Hey yo! Come in, sit back, relax, let's chat. Okay, so clearly an episode is missing from last week. We already discussed why that's missing, but I have been taking the notes. And the funny thing is, last week's episode's title is what this week's episode's title is, clearly because I'm recording it, right? And you may be like, hey, Shay, why you name this episode Ayo? I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you. And I know it's in my notes, which means I'm going to repeat, but I feel like I could tell the story. I mean, damn, I wrote the notes. I feel like I could tell the story off the top of my head, too. You guys know this whole Lover Girl season, I keep going, I'm trying to be the Lover Girl, I'm trying to be the Lover Girl, but I keep acting like DMX. And even I sometimes like, girl, why do you keep using DMX as your freaking like example? And I just figured it's because, DMX is how's really being played, how's it going down? Just me, just me being chaotic. I get in my car to go get myself food because I'm that level of single. I have to get my own food now. What direction is this episode going in? No, focus on your story. I get in the car, going to go get food, and I'm listening to satellite radio, whatever the case may be, throwback, which now all the throwbacks are from like the 90s and 2000. I said, not me actually being old as dirt. Focus. Soon as I get in the car, I hear do no 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 do no 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 no, and like a sleeper agent, ayo, dog, I meet just a street. I said, I get it. I get why I keep saying I act like DMX because when the chorus or the bridge or whatever part came on is like, what you want from it, that's how I feel. Because what do y'all want from me? What do these men want from me? Y'all don't even know. Y'all don't even know. And I rapped that song bar for bar and said, this is why you say you're DMX instead of the lover girl. I'm still the lover girl. At least I try to be. We're not going to talk about it right now. I'll check my notes. Maybe we'll talk about it later. But I'm still a lover girl, but I'm also DMX. And this episode was this close. If you're listening, not watching, yes, I have the two fingers very close together. Let me put them closer. This episode was this close to being called what you want from it. But I said, yes, we show up as our authentic self, but we don't show up like a fool. So, because the only part of the song that I keep yelling is Ayo, the episode is titled Ayo. Fill in the context later. This morning, because while I was getting dressed with my little grown man hairdo, y'all like the finger coils? If you don't, I'm going through enough. We're going to get it braided. While I was getting dressed this morning, I was throwing it back. Cannot throw it back. That's a normal occurrence with me. And in my head, I was just like, rock the boat, rock the boat, rock the boat, rock the boat, work it in the middle. One thing I'm gonna do is make myself laugh. So this episode came real close to being called Rock the Boat. But we're on Ayo. Mind you guys, I just want you to be clear. If you're listening and not watching me, I have not picked up those index cards yet. I have not picked up my phone yet. I got on this couch for this episode that I wasn't even sure that I was going to record and started chatting. Just started talking, looking dead in the camera and started talking. Am I going to get to my notes eventually? I don't know. Let's find out next time on Dragon Ball Z because I also have more to say. Because I also said that, thank my cousin that we got this podcast episode because she was like, just do it. And I said, girl, I want to be outside. I be working hard. Y'all be having me work hard. Do y'all hear me? Work hard. Giving Dolly Parton working 9 to 5. Giving Michael Jackson working hard. Y'all be having me work hard. I told my cousin, clearly I was talking to my cousin today, so she'd get started a podcast without even, didn't sign nothing, didn't sign a waiver, nothing. I'm just going to talk about her. Yeah, I'm going to do what I want. Anyway, let me put my shirt down, put my foot back in. Clearly the country's coming at me today. Why was I talking about my cousin? Girl, I don't know. I don't even know. Oh, no. What I was saying is I was talking to my cousin and I told her, I said, nah, people got me out here begging for you to attend a free panel. She goes, you mean marketing? Girl, shut up. I said begging. Tomato. Got me out here begging. Do y'all know how much marketing materials I did this week? I didn't record the podcast yesterday, but what I did do was spend too much time doing a newsletter to send it out to end up in people's junk mail. And the reason I sent it out through an email marketing platform is because I wanted to give people the option to unsubscribe. I told you with this iteration of the podcast and all the updates I'm doing with the brand, I really want an intentional community. So I don't want people to stay here simply because they were here before, because they signed up for my newsletter before. I wanted them to get the newsletter update about the podcast, about the panel, about everything, and be like, hey, I'm not interested in this anymore. Or oh, one thing I'm going to have is a juicy mouth. We're going to run that back. Let's run it back. I might keep it in, but we still going to run it back. I wanted them to have the option to say, hey, I'm not interested in this anymore. Or, oh, I forgot I was interested in this, and I'm glad that I did get this information. I'm not going to hold y'all. Y'all know I ignore my phone when I'm recording, but I felt the vibration on my arm, and I said, maybe that's that man. It wasn't. It wasn't. Please. What that girl say? Stand up. Stand up. Anywho, yeah. So I wanted to give people the option to unsubscribe. So that's why I sent it through an email marketing system. But they didn't even get the option to do that because that newsletter left my email marketing system and landed in everybody's junk folder, spam folder, whatever you call it. So if you signed up many moons ago or you think you signed up, check your junk folder. Yeah, okay, sure. But then on top of that, because I'm always working, I did all that. I set up the email, I sent it out, and I had to work on the graphics. I did that. And then today, I attended an event. And while I was waiting for the event to start, I was working on the marketing text. And I did not send that through a platform, so you couldn't unsubscribe. No, you couldn't respond and say no or yes or opt out because I wish y'all would. Really, I was really just testing the text to see like if people would want them. So I tested it on a few people that I text on a regular basis, so it wouldn't seem odd. Like, hey, I'm about to send you something, just let me know, whatever, whatever. So once I sent it out to those people, then I sent out the actual marketing text. I just wanted to see how it looked, even though I should know how it looks. It doesn't matter. I just wanted to test it. So I sent that out. I worked on that while at an event, waiting for the event to start. Like I said, I worked on that, went through, I didn't even, you know what? I didn't even go through all of my contacts. I just went through people that I've texted before. So I scrolled through my history of texting, skipping people that I clearly no longer talk to, but people that I do talk to, and just dropped this text in their inbox. And I don't care. I did it because clearly begging is the way to be. I couldn't be no promoter, child. I can't be no promoter. You got me begging? I absolutely will not be doing that. I have been begging. I have been begging. So I did all of that. I even put up the first panelist highlight for Michelle. I thought that came out really nice. If you haven't seen it, you go on my Instagram and look. That's mostly where I post my assets. I do it on WhatsApp too, which is funny. I think that people on WhatsApp are the people who should block me because when I start trickling into WhatsApp, it's because I'm promoting. I just really ain't no good. I really ain't no good that way. Don't talk to you at all on WhatsApp. Well, I talk to people on WhatsApp, but I don't post status updates and all that. Not really, unless I look real good. If I look real good, if I got a picture and I look real good in it, like if I'm going out, oh, that picture is hitting all the apps. It's hitting WhatsApp, Instagram, not LinkedIn. I said all the apps, and that was all I had. I'm still a little skittish about Threads, and my Threads account is not even tied to the right account. So it's just me fully investing in being chaotic that gets me every single time. I would say I'm going to get up and check and see if my screen is recording. Actually, no, I will because my iPad updated and now I keep getting alerts and it keeps cutting off whatever I'm doing. So let me go check. Dang, I felt like I had myself in a really good spot. Like I was hiding some of my side fat, but also hiding my stomach. And now I'm out of breath. The things that make me laugh. Anyway, what I was saying was I am cracking up at the fact that I am committed to being chaotic. I've been talking this whole time. Have I picked up the phone yet? Have I touched the notes yet? No. I have one more thing to say before I actually go look at my notes to see if I've highlighted some of the things I've already written down or if I've just been on a 20-minute tangent. I'm guessing it's probably the latter. I actually have more than one thing to say. One, I know how to dress. Like I be putting it on for real. I really do. But every now and then I'll put something on or I'll try an outfit and it doesn't work and I'll try it again and it doesn't work again. And instead of saying, oh, this outfit doesn't work, immediately I'm like, it's me. I don't know how to dress. I look a mess. That was today. I look a bag of Lucky Charms, boo. It just didn't fit right. Really feel like I messed up my good name with that one. But you know what? Nobody was there to see me. I was there as supporting cast, and I dressed just like I was there as supporting cast. But what I will say is my friend did so good moderating her panel in an environment that had a lot going on. I think it was well worth attending. I didn't think I would be attending what I attended that long, but it was worth attending. My friend did really good. And outside of supporting my friend and her doing really well, I like attending these events because, like I often say, is it's not that people aren't interested in what you have to say or that you don't have anything to say. You just don't have the space to share what you have to say and connect it with the people who want to hear it or who need to hear it. And that's why it's so important for me to create those type of spaces, because there's something really special about showing up somewhere and taking from it what you need, but also pouring into it as well. What I will say, which has been the most difficult part for me as a host and a moderator, I guess event planner at this point. I will never call myself an event planner. I'm my own event planner right now because, me, Peter, and Paul being a three-way conversation trying to figure out why I'm robbing Peter to pay Paul, but not the point. As the person who is all of those things, one of the things I've had the hardest time with is getting men engaged. And I've spoken to men in my life, just homeboys or other entrepreneurs and business owners, men I've come across, no romantic ones, because I know y'all like to give me away. So, no, none of that, but just men, just being in conversation with men and saying, I have a really hard time getting men to follow through. Even when I'm hosting a chat with Shay, people have asked me if I would do an all man's panel. That was the goal at one point after the initial one, was to see if I could do an all men, all males panel, whatever the case may be, and just get men to talk about things that we also talk about, but from their perspective, from their understanding in the conversations that they're having. Because I think no matter how much we as women or those who identify as women think we understand the thought process of a man, we're still not men. And that's me too, which I'm like, I pick things up and put them down. And I'm not necessarily, a overly affectionate person, but I'm still not a man. And it's funny because it shows up in dating more so in romantic settings. That's what I'll call it, even if it's not romantic. In those settings where I can feel very strongly about something. And because I am a communicator, I'm like, hey, you did this and I don't like that. And the guy will be like, what are we talking about? Don't let men trick you, because sometimes they do know what you're talking about and they're trying to gaslight you. But outside of that, it's just funny how you can reach a conclusion, he can reach a conclusion, and they're not the same conclusion, but it's the same event. And I think it's very important to listen to how some men process things, how they show up in community, how they support each other, how they support women, how they operate in co-ed spaces, and what that looks like, because we hear so much language around, oh, people can't have platonic friendships. It's either going to be this or it's going to be that, or somebody's going to do something one day. And I don't think that's true. I have guy friends that I've never looked at that way. And it's not because they're not attractive or whatever the case may be. It's because they genuinely are my friends and I genuinely respect them. I respect their walk and I respect us being in each other's space in a way where we can take and give and pour into each other, regardless of the fact that we are not the same gender. So, what all that to say, because baby, me and a point going to be far apart. All that to say, one of the things that I did enjoy is that they did have an all men's. Why I can't say that sentence? What is the sentence? They had an all man. No, They had it. Shit. They had an all men's panel. My goodness, them English degrees, y'all go test them because I don't know. Y'all know sometimes my tongue get heavy. But and that's another thing too. Let me step outside of the tangent to go on another tangent. I listen back to the podcast, especially when I have a time frame of doing heavy marketing. So when I send things out, like I sent out the text, I sent out the newsletter, and told people to go listen, watch, and subscribe and RSVP for the event. When I send those things out to people, I click on the links that I sent and I listen back to the episodes to see how I sound, just so I can understand what people are experiencing once they click on the link. I want to understand what is pulling people in, what is maybe not landing with people. So I listen back to episodes. I, on one hand, think I'm hilarious. A clown usually does. But, you know, I can listen and understand like the little quirks and things like that. And it's so funny to me the things that get me to crack and clean up. Girl, stop laughing at your own jokes. All that to say, I think that that panel was very effective. It was nice to listen to things from a man's perspective and in an open and honest way. I really did enjoy the event. I applaud anybody who is willing to step outside of their comfort zone to show up and invest in not only themselves but other people, but also in their dreams. It is not easy. I do this podcast and y'all hear me bitch and moan constantly about things, but I still show up. I would say every week, but we know that it's a lot. I still show up because it's important to me. And although the podcast is not my dream, that's not where my goal is landing. It is a part of everything. It is part of that ecosystem. And it is important for me to show up even when I feel like I don't look my best, even when I cut all my hair off and I said, yeah, it's important for me to still do this because it matters. It's all part of everything. Now, some weeks I don't got video in me, and that's fine because this was never supposed to be a video podcast, but I still think about it. I still map it out. Every time I do this, I'm getting better at it. I can hear through the episodes. And granted, I've been doing this a long time, but when I took the hiatus, I had to come back and really figure out my rhythm. The fact that I'm sitting up here and I know I've been talking for at least 30 minutes at this point and have not looked at my notes yet, and it doesn't feel disjointed, lets me know that each week I'm getting to a better place. I will pick up my notes, which also leads to the other point when I talked about in the last few episodes of like, oh, these video episodes are not as long as they should be. They're not as long as the audio. I'm having a hard time recording at length. Clearly, I'm not anymore. Maybe all I had to do was pick up my little mic because since I've been holding this mic, I've been doing swell. And that leads me to another point when I said I listened back to the podcast episodes. I promise that I know how to talk. I promise that I know how to enunciate. I know how to say words. I know the meaning and definitions of words. But sometimes, baby, baby, even when I listen back to Factory Reset and I said something interested. And I said it twice because I messed up and was like, interested, interested. It's fine. I get it. It's all part of the dialect of it all. It's part of the AAVE of it all. It's part of the culture of it all that sometimes words just come out how they come out. Trust me, I talk every day for a living. I can get up there and get it out the way I'm supposed to get it out. But authentically, this is how I'm comfortable. So if you get to tip tap typing and ask if I know a word, I might respond depending on how I'm feeling, if I'm in good spirits, and say, I promise I know how to say the word. A few times, though, I did use the wrong word. Not because I don't know the definition of the words. Sometimes when I'm speaking too fast, I will conflate the meanings of words. And it's like, you did not actually mean that. You meant a different word. But if y'all don't say nothing, I won't say nothing. We just going to keep it moving. Sound like a plan? Sound like a plan. I also hope that my makeup looks good. My makeup had a hard time today. I poked myself in the eye while doing makeup after saying I wasn't doing makeup for today's event. And my eyes just started watering. And then I just couldn't get them to water. It was making my under eye look dark. I went to the event. My eye was still watering, the event where I look like a Lucky Charm. And I got up here and said, yeah, not touching that up. Just going to get up here. It is time for our notes, ladies and gentlemen. And and those who do not identify, it's teen. It's ting ting ting. Okay. Oh, before I get into my notes, girl, get to the notes. Before I get to my notes, my last point, because I don't think I said this in last week's episode. Honestly, I think it's in my notes. If you would just read your notes, you wouldn't be going through this. But I must say this. If I Ruled the World, the book by Amy Barnett DeBoer, Chef's Kiss, I read that book in a day. I was in it to the point where I had to write her a little message and say, "Hey, Amy, what you doing? We get a second book." And she said, "Girl, we're not getting a second book to that book, but I'm writing another book." And I said, "I'm going to buy that book too because I know a good writer when I see one." So I cannot wait. I truly enjoyed that book. It really was my tea. The book that I'm reading now was recommended to me, and I'm sorry if I don't remember the author. I don't remember the author. I can see the name, but I know that I can't recall the name. But the book is called Kin, Kin. I'm all up in that book. Take me through there. Take me through there. Because I say that in every episode. So those are my book recommendations for the week. If you have books that you would like for me to read, I will take your recommendations because I just love a little book. I love to sit down and read a book. Even though my weeks have been hectic, I've been sick, I've been doing things for my business, doing things for other businesses, networking. I have found time to read. And I'm glad that I'm getting back into that where I'm really invested in my joy because reading does bring me joy. I love reading. And I think it would only make me, let me pause because I want to be intentional. I think that it will only make me a better writer. It will only make my lexicon larger. And it will only increase my intelligence because, I'm flexing that muscle. I really love to read. So, okay, notes. I know you guys are waiting. So happy. You're so patient with Big Mama for real. Hold on. Take me. Oh, I do got text. Not from that man. It's like we're starting a whole different episode, but we are not. I'm going to read this because, as we know, I have not reviewed my notes, so I don't necessarily know what they say. I just know they're there. And the note that I'm seeing at the top, I feel like I have to read because I don't know why I wrote it. So I said, sometimes God will redirect you. I was just trying to get some broccolini and get back home to clean my messy house, and boom. Oh, y'all, I had a flat tire. I can't believe I didn't start by telling y'all that. This is why I should have read my notes. And boom, a flat tire. Have I not suffered enough? Y'all know I lost that man I like. Let me be. That's funny because that's not true anymore. It's not true anymore. That's not true anymore. But yes, I did get redirected that day when I went. I said, I was just going to get broccoli. I definitely just said what I was going to do. And I even put my mom off the phone because if you know anything, me and my mom are going to chat. And my mother said, "Should I come with you?" I said, "Absolutely not, ma'am. I need to focus. I'm just going to get broccoli. I'm coming back to make dinner. That is it." 3 hours later is when I made it to the damn grocery store. Let me also say, I flirt good. I flirt really well. Unintentionally. It's just because I'm a chatty lady. But the guy, a number of things. And how did I get back off the notes so easily? I don't know. But when I realized I had a flat tire, I wasn't that far away from home. I turned myself back around. Hold on. There we go. I turned myself back around and I said, you know what? I really do be in the gym picking up very heavy things. I'm sure I can change my own flat tire. I know where the tools are. I don't feel like waiting for somebody to do this for me. I have things to do. I need to clean. I need to cook dinner today. I need to get prepared for the week. So I took my spare tire out. I took the tools out. I took the jack out. And I'm like, I'm going to do this. I go to take the doggone, what's it? And that's why you should have been trying to freaking change a tire. You don't even know damn names. But I knew the actions. So I went to go take the nuts, the thing off. I went to go take the bolt or whatever it is off and lug nut. And it went move. I want to tell y'all right now, I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. I barely tried. When I tried to turn a little bit and move, I said absolutely not. I said, I do not pay for AAA every year to be out here being foolish. Why were you even in the action of doing these things? Why were you in the action of doing these things and you pay for AAA? You know why? Because I sat in my car and I said, I don't want to wait for nobody to do nothing for me. So yeah. Anyway, so the AAA guy, it didn't even take him long. I never even got out of the car. That's how quick he got to me. He comes and I said, when you tell your homeboys, when you tell your colleagues the story, you tell them that I helped you get this off. I loosened it up for you. Why would you say that? Did he giggle? He did not giggle. Let me stop saying men giggle. That other man did giggle. Did he chuckle? Yes, he did chuckle. And I said, one thing I'm going to do is laugh a man up. I'm going to chuckle. Men be cracking up, okay? I be getting them going. And we just got to chat. He was real cute, but I really didn't care. So he went and changed and put the spare on, and I had to drive to the tire shop to get a patch. And I took that moment, although I was like, I had things to do. I need to be somewhere. I have plans. I took that moment to honor the fact that sometimes God will just redirect you. I don't know why that happened that day. It could have just been something that happened. I ran over a nail, it flattened my tire, and that just shifted how my day went. And that's just that. My brother never calls me. Of course, because I'm recording my podcast right now, my brother calls me, which means he's probably calling me with my niece, which means, do you know you only have 30 minutes? Because we know I got to pick up on my girl. She probably got to tell me something, and I got to listen to whatever it is she got to tell me. Give me a second. My brothers rarely, if ever, call me on a group chat. And because I'm recording this podcast, of course they called me. And then when I ignored it, because I'm recording my podcast, they call back. It's the chaos for me. And now I'm out of breath because y'all know, big mama, big girl. Somebody give me the Ozempic. God damn. Anywho, hopefully I look good. If I don't look good, shit. I gave y'all 30 minutes of something already. I think what I was saying, because now the point has been lost and the story has been interrupted, is that sometimes God will redirect you. I don't know why that happened that day. Probably just something that happens to people every day. But the fact that I was so intent on I'm doing this, this, and this, and this. You couldn't tell me I wasn't doing this, and this. You couldn't tell me otherwise because that's what I was going to do. And I just got turned around. And you know what? It was fine. It wasn't the end of the world. And I also realized I still got it. You try to stand on a busy street with spandex on. You'll see if you still got it or not, or if men will just talk to anything. Anyway, also, next day, because I took that one in stride, another nail in my tire. And I'm bald-headed. I mean, come on. Am I not going through enough? Am I not going through enough? And then, yeah, Raymond Tires, count your lucky days. I mean, I'm still going to go to you. Everybody in the hood going to go to you still. But why my tire was one price the day before and not the same price the next day? Is it because I did not have on spandex the next day? And I told that man too. I said, so you're going to charge me an extra 10? I said, that's not how much I paid yesterday. I'm not paying that. He's like, all right, cool, mommy. Yes, I understand. Un poquito español. Play with somebody else. He still got over on me because when I bought that ticket and the other lady's like, such and such amount, I said, and I came out there, I said, so give me $10 out your pocket. Because I really do talk to men. I really do talk to men any way I feel. He's like, mommy, I got you next time. No, don't play with me because I won't forget. Give me my $10. Anyway, I got my nail fixed and went on about my merry little way. But sometimes life just brings an unexpected something to slow you down, and not slow you down in a bad way, but slow you down in a way is like, okay, maybe you need to chill. Everything is not that serious. Then we already know how this story ends. We already told you at the beginning of this episode. Then I got a little tickle in my throat, and not the good kind. That's in the notes. What's the good kind? Tell the class. Yeah. I got a little tickle in my throat and not the good kind. Moving right along. And then I gained 2 more pounds. I mean, seriously. I was clearly going through a lot. I don't feel this way right now, but I wrote it down so that y'all would know. I just wanted to let y'all know what kind of week I was having. I'm glad I didn't record the podcast last week because clearly I was going through it. But I ended this note, which is the intro to Ayo, to but I still have breath in my body and a sense of humor, and I'm full of whimsy. So yeah, I'm winning. It's all fine. It's all fine. You know what else is in my notes? I tell you guys why I named the podcast Ayo. So we hit that. We hit that. I hit it first. What is wrong with me? I'm such an unserious lady, and I feel like I want to be serious, but I'm serious like 60 hours a week. And then I get up here just hooting and hollering and carrying on. What's the next thing I have? Oh, I was yelling at y'all last week, and I'm still gonna yell at y'all a little bit because let me say this: how do maybe they go hand in hand? How did I have an attentive audience that was watching my videos and interacting with my content to boom? Really 5 people a week, and then last week I had 0 views. I had to literally get up here and yell at y'all. When I say get up here, I mean on Instagram, and say, are we not one band, one sound? I had to remind y'all who we were and make y'all watch my video. Not y'all had me working for no reason. I mean, y'all never really actually asked for this. I just got up here and started doing it, but also don't piss me off because y'all was watching it. How am I mad all over again when I wasn't even mad? Because I know when I wrote this, I was like, I know y'all are not playing in my good full face. And speaking of faces, I did have a very valid point in these notes. And I talk often about how I removed like followers from my main social media account, and then I started using my professional account, and that's where people started to follow me. But then I started posting again on my other account, and I forget who I was talking to when I said this. I think I was preparing for something professional or maybe just talking to a colleague, and I said living in two worlds, in hiding but still being visible, makes it difficult to market or be marketable. And that's on me. Like, I can't be in two worlds. I can't have one account where I'm full of myself and not full of myself, being my full self, and then my other account is kind of like, oh, this is my professional account. Girl, you have the same face, fool. Your face is the same face. You're posting the two accounts with your same face. You are the same person. You just need to figure out how to show up one way on one account and be unapologetic about it. And I know I often preach that, but I do get into like, okay, I want this account to be like for these things, and this is where I talk about these things. And the other account is just fully whatever it is. You're on the same internet with the same face. But you know what's so funny is that the two accounts are completely different. If I ask one account for a song recommendation for a post, it's going to give me a completely different song. My main account that I've had for a long time is definitely going to give me Key Glock. It's definitely giving Young Dolph. It's definitely giving Bang Bang. Bang Bang Rowdy Rowdy Hood Rat. So even my accounts know they're two different accounts. But what I will say and what I've been wrestling, which is a word my nana used to use all the time, wrestling with is, and I know it's wrestling. I know it's wrestling. I feel like I have to say it for the slow people in the back. My nana used to say wrestling. I'm saying wrestling. That I've been wrestling with is that I just need to figure out what works for me. And I feel like I'm moving in that direction because things are becoming so glaringly obvious that I can't operate two separate ways with the same face. You are not a twin, Tia Tamira. Chow. Oh, okay. I said Bam's 83 points. I said this must be a typo. What the hell are we talking about? So I had to read the rest of the notes after it. My next point is about Bam. Miami Heat. What position does Bam play? But about him scoring his 83 points in one game and him edging out Kobe Bryant, being under Wilt Chamberlain, and all the things that go into that. And what made me realize what I was talking about is that I said I wasn't going to talk about things without full information in my previous podcast. And yes, I understand sports. Yes, I watch sports. Yes, I watch basketball. Hard stop. So I can talk about sports. I know many get up here and girls talking about sports. Bro, I can probably talk about sports better than you. So actually don't piss me off. But what I said about not having full information is that I didn't watch that game that night. I just heard about it the next day. So when people were like, oh, he made those points, all free throws or blah, 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 I can't really speak to that. I didn't watch the game. But what I can speak to, and I understand I'm not a basketball player and I'm not a professional athlete, and 97%, yeah, I just made up that stat, but I feel like it's accurate, of the people who are talking crap about Bam beating that record and making 83 points in that game are also not professional athletes, okay? You can't run up and down the court twice without being out of breath. Hey, yo! Don't piss me off. So, to that point, what I will say is, although I didn't watch the game, so I don't have full contextual information, what I will say, I couldn't hit 83 points in one game in that amount of time, even if I was standing on a crane right next to the hoop and I was the only person in the goddamn arena. And a lot of y'all couldn't either. So all this, oh, they ran up this, they did that, he should have never went. Rest in peace to Kobe Bryant. Hard stop. But two, even Kobe, if he was alive, he was a competitor. He would never want somebody to not do something because what? Are we talking about the same Kobe Bean Bryant? Please, please, please. And if he felt the way about it, he might have cared about a retirement and did something about it. But these are athletes. They work their whole lives to be in the positions that they're in. Do you understand the amount of sacrifice it takes to be a professional athlete? WNBA, NBA, soccer, hockey, all of it. And y'all want to tell these people how they should excel at their job? Do they come to your job and tell you how to? Don't piss me off. The title of this episode is going to be "Ayo." Don't piss me off. That's what's going to be. And I just, please, please. I need all of us to be so for real. And I get it. It's sports. We talk about sports. We're going to have that chatter. I was going to say barbershop talk. And this is why they think you a man. People are going to have their conversations and get fired up. Trust me, I get it. I get fired up over a game of cricket. I'm just that girl. But I need y'all to be so damn for real and put a little bit more respect on the hard work of a person. However he got those 83 points, I promise you, under the same conditions, you probably wasn't getting them. And if it was meant for you to have them and meant for you to get them, and now talk to professional athletes, you would have gotten there. We have got to stop thinking that somebody else's blessing is somehow our curse. Celebrate people. It is not that hard to celebrate people. I really need us all to get it together. I don't know why I speak about death so much. I don't like it, but you know what? Nope, I do gotta speak about it. I wasn't gonna talk about it because I was like, I don't really want to speak about this. I feel like we tipped on this subject one too many times, but I am gonna speak about it to just say that somebody going on to glory does not absolve them. It does not absolve any harm. Wait, I'm gonna do it does not absolve any harm that you may have caused. It does not absolve your wrongdoings. It just means that you have gone on to the ancestral plane and that you have gone on to glory, but that doesn't absolve you. One thing I will say, which is why I want to talk about this, I really want to talk about Michelle, but we'll start with Barack, our forever president. Barack, I get it. President Obama, I get it. But Jesse Jackson Jr. would have to see me. He would have to see me. I would have to tussle. Like, I'm not in the White House no more. Who you talking to? But that's probably why I'm not in the White House. Because I think it's so uncouth to invite somebody to a ceremony, to let that person speak, and you knew that person was going to speak. You knew what it was going to be. We did not get civil rights by happenstance. We got civil rights by the hard work, blood, sweat, and tears of those who came before us, and some of those who are still here. Civil rights was something that was worked for. Civil rights is something that had to make people uncomfortable. There was a sense of disobedience and civil rights came out of all that. So you want to get up there and talk smack after you let these politicians talk because you want. Please don't piss me off. Young sir had to see. I keep trying to put my hair behind my ear. I don't have. That's how mad. That's how angry you made me. That's how much you annoyed me. That you got me trying to push hair back that ain't even there. And we know I don't have hair there because all I do is talk about not having hair there. But Rock better than me, because I would have told him to go. I would have said some words. But I had to say that part to get to the part that I really want to get to is, and you see why Michelle, LaVon, Robinson, Obama refuse to entertain fools. Because you give people an inch and they're going to take a mile. They're really going to think you someone to be played with. And really, I'm trying to tell you, these aren't the games you want to play. And Michelle said, and that's why I will not be showing up to anything I don't want to be at. Anything that don't feel right, I ain't going to be there. And she wasn't there. And you see why? You see why? And that's why I don't entertain fools. All right, all right. I got fired up. Let's move on. Let's move on. Okay. We only have a few more notes, or I talked for a whole 30 minutes without notes. We only have a few more points that I want to touch on, and then you guys will be rid of me. I will edit the podcast, and what comes out, I hope is something that's entertaining to you, because I've entertained myself talking for the last hour. But I want to say this: being too cool to experience things will absolutely never be me. When I leave this house and I'm not going to work or the gym or whatever the case may be, but I'm going to a concert or to a museum or just showing up somewhere because somebody invited me, I leave with the mindset. I leave the house with the mindset that, all right, I'm just going out to have a little vibe. Let's just go vibe. I want to go experience things. I'm going to taste the food. That's how you find out if you like something, you don't like something. I'm not about to turn my nose up at something that I haven't even experienced. Being too cool to experience stuff will never be me. I love outside. love outside and just talking to people and doing new things. I know why I said this, but I'm just gonna leave this here to say that will never be me. And if that's your vibe, I am not the person for you to hang out with, because I want to experience joy in being confused and things being complex and understanding how my body reacts in situations. That's how you grow. That's how you build up an immune system. Those are the things that really build your character. So if you're too cool for school, just leave me and my silly self somewhere, because I like to be outside experiencing things, and that's also just me. Another thing, you cannot build community if you refuse to speak to new people. I'm always here for a vibe. I'm always here for a vibe. Like, yeah, you show up somewhere with the people you know, but do you open up your space to invite other people to speak? Do you try to speak to new people? I know it can be scary because people can be mean sometimes, but how all these people who are yelling community, 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 who don't want to open up community is odd to me. And I'm not talking about the gentrification kind. I just feel the need to say that because, people going to skew some words. But just in the like, oh, I want to open a community, I want to do things for the community. But the minute somebody talks to you that you don't know, you're upset, is a little weird. Or that you negate somebody's experience just because it wasn't yours, little weird. I want to tell you this right now. I'm gonna meet somebody new. I also will just talk to anybody. I don't know if that's safe, but I do feel like being able to talk to people and bring in different perspectives to your experience broadens your knowledge of the world and broadens your understanding of other cultures, other journeys, and things of that nature. People are too busy putting their nose up in the air and assuming that whatever their experience is or was is better than the experience that somebody's trying to tell you about. And I don't understand that mindset per se, but what I will say, and I said this, I told you guys that I was speaking for that group that I'm a part of. Not a lot of people showed up, so I'm not even going to lie. But what I will say is I did really well. And that's a lot for me to say. Not because I'm so humble and like, oh, I don't like to give myself applause. I just don't focus on it. I'm very focused on doing the thing, getting the thing done, and then moving on to the next thing. But I will say I did really well in that chat. What I will also say is that you guys might clown me for always getting up off this couch to check to see if the camera or iPad or whatever is still recording. But I was supposed to record the audio of me doing that speaker series panel, whatever it is. And y'all know I didn't record. So that experience just lives in the hearts and the minds of the 3 people that were there. There was more than 3 people, but not a lot more. Y'all, wouldn't you know it, that the camera stopped recording. So I am just back here to wrap up the episode on my iPhone to let y'all know that there are parts that got left out. So if it sounds like if it sounds like it got cut off abruptly, it did. But it is fine. We will talk about the other things in a later episode. I tell you all the time, I talk about things that are evergreen, so it is fine. But I did have to come back to end the episode. So, with that said, until next time, let's chat.